Hello and welcome to This Week in Magic. I am Cindershadow, and today we're going to talk about the stuff with Crimson Vow. Well, first thing first, I have a channel announcement that you all need to pay very much attention to. This was a last minute detail. I've been in the works of trying to set up to do the Extra Life event that is tomorrow, November 6th. This starts at 10 p.m. my time. This video is going up probably around noon my time, so a couple hours before that. It is a 25-hour live streaming event. This is going to be grueling, and I need all of your help sharing it out, helping me stay awake, and playing as many games as possible. The proceeds of it do go to the Stollery Children's Hospital in Edmonton, Alberta. This is through Extra Life. This is an event that has happened for the last 10 years. So I need everyone's help in trying to make this a eventful day, or 24 hours, 25 hours, because there's a time change in the middle of it. So this is something that's very important to me. If you guys didn't know, if you're new around here or haven't really looked at some of the past videos or the past part of the channel, my child spent 352 days, his first 352 days here on Earth in the hospital. So because of that, it's my way of giving back to the hospital. And you know what? These events are absolutely mind-boggling and fun and exciting, and we're going to have a great time. Now, of course, this all means you need to like and subscribe right now. Hit that red subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Maybe turn on that bell even, and make sure you come back and check out the channel. Check out everything that I offer here, because I do try to give you information on what's going on with Magic the Gathering, some pop culture stuff, gaming in particular, and whatever else is out there. So please hit that subscribe button today. On with This Week in Magic. Well, we have Crimson Vow is set to come out, I believe, next week. It's very soon that this releases, because the Mastery Pass on Arena expires next week, so the new one comes into place. Now, the new Crimson Vow stuff, what is going on there? There is a lot to cover there. As always, it seems that Wizards of the Coast is still putting out the state of the game for Arena and Magic the Gathering. It is a helpful article that does go out there every once in a while. They don't do this as much as they used to, but when it does come out, it's usually around the new stuff for a release, and we can get into it very easily, show you and showcase a little bit of what's going on with the new set that's going to be coming out. First off, you can see here there's a couple new avatars that are going to be, I believe this is the new Sorin avatar, which is that by that Castlevania artist, which is absolutely stunning. And then you have Olivia, which I believe is the bride. So we're going to a vampire wedding. We are seeing what it's like for vampires to get married, and it's going to be very strange, because we've already seen cards like Chandra, where she's the girl on fire, showing up to a vampire wedding. I don't know if we're going to have the red wedding like in Game of Thrones, or just a fireball melting the entire place to the ground. But this goes over the new mechanics. We have training. Whenever a creature attacks with another creature with power greater, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. This is very much like Mentor, where Mentor put it on the creature. They force the training upon them, where training is they're just looking and watching and seeing and gaining power that way. This is an interesting mechanic. It is triggered to once per round, so it will be a lot better in that sense, where like Mentor, you only get it once a round. These aren't doing every round, and you've got some things that have to happen in reliably for it to actually take place. Now, in the current meta, this is going to be absolutely bonkers, but overall, it's very interesting in that sense. Then you have Cleave, which is just another version of a kicker spell, but because Cleave adds in a very, very messy technical version of cards. So the example they have here where they have dig up, search your library for a, in like brackets, basic land card, in brackets, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. This, and then the cleave cost being 1 generic, 2 black, and a green. Now you take rid of everything that's in the brackets, you search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. This creates a very clunky, messy version of a card. A lot of people don't like this, and in paper, this is going to be a very difficult way to teach new players. I believe this is going to be a very advanced mechanic, and people are going to have to learn to live with it.
Is it supposed to be stupid?
It's not stupid. It's advanced.
Now, that all said, it being advanced is just very difficult, and having to learn to live with it is, you know, this is something that's more meant for the digital era of Arena. It's not going to be very nice in paper, I can tell you right now. It would have been nicer if they just made these as flip cards or dual cards or something else, instead of going and cutting down on the way the wording is on the card. It makes it very confusing and very clunky for people to use with. Blood tokens are the next newest thing here. Much like a clue token where it's 2, sacrifice it, you draw a card. This is 1, tap it, discard a card, sacrifice this artifact, draw a card. The fact that this is blood and an artifact, blood being the artifact, it's very strange in that sense. When you break it down to real world and stuff like that, like suddenly my blood in a vial is an artifact that's going to be used to gain knowledge. That's a very strange idea. I guess if you go to the doctor and they draw blood, they can analyze it, but this is like on cue, you can analyze it. Now, this is going, a lot of people are saying this is going to be a very useful mechanic. People are going to use this quite a bit. It creates the looting effect. Looting is where you discard a card, then draw a card, or draw a card and discard a card. Now, you've got to discard that card first, so that's the red version of it, where blue is always the other way around, where you draw a card, then discard a card. If people didn't realize the two similarities and differences between red draw and blue draw when it comes to looting. Now, with that, it's going to be very interesting. There is certain things in red where discarding a card gives you a discount in other formats right now. They didn't bring it back in this one. It's called Madness, where if you discard a card, you then can pay the Madness cost or have other effects. There is a couple cards in the spoilers that I did see that have this pseudo Madness to them, but they're not officially Madness cards. So if you have triggers where you discard a card, maybe with the bag of holding that is currently in standard, you're going to be able to get a lot of those cards back and have an outlet for them. And it's going to be very interesting to see where this lies. There's other things with the blood token. And in particular, we've got a card that they were spoiled, which I'm going to talk about here. It's the Blood Veil Purveyor. You've got 2 black and 2. It's a 5/6 vampire with flying and trample. That's absolutely insane for 4 mana. A 5/6 flying trample vampire for 5. No, that's a 5/6 for 4 mana. That is absolutely insanity when it comes to the power level. Now, whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player creates a blood token. Okay, so your opponent, the trade-off is they're going to get a blood token that they can sacrifice, discard a card, and draw a card to find their answers. But whenever Blood Veil Purveyor attacks, it gets +1/+0 for each blood token defending player controls. Wait a second. Where's the end of turn? There is no end of turn on the way the card is printed. There is a day 0 errata for this card from Mark Rosewater in particular, because I've been getting the question all morning, Blood Veil Purveyor. We'll be getting errata that the +1/+0 bonus only lasts until end of turn. These are simple things that a intern should be able to catch, but of course we've seen time and time again that these cards slip through the cracks over and over again, and you got to start to wonder who needs to really take control of these cards making it through product testing. Now, the other part of all of this, there is an alternate art that also has the mistake on it. So this mistake is across entirety of this. I'm not surprised really, because this would have been a copy and paste over to it, but ultimately these little things, they shouldn't make it past. They should be able to keep going. And this is a simple one. This is an until end of turn effect. Maybe they need to rename end of turn to something else so people will always have it on the copy and paste side of things. I don't know what programming they're using, how they do this, if they're doing like Microsoft Words and stuff like that. It's very strange. Now, the artwork on the alternate art is very interesting. I'm not entirely sure why they had to go with the shirtless vampire for each versions, but that's the way things are now, I guess. Anyway, back to the state of the game. Now we also have exploit, and it's when it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature, either itself or another creature. In some cases, this is removal. In some cases, this is a way to counter a spell if they have flash. There's lots that exploit does do, so it is very worthwhile to read up on what's going on with exploit. Crimson Vow, sealed and draft events coming to Arena. Sealed will be November 11th to December 3rd. November 11th being Remembrance Day, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people are playing that day. Premier Draft being November 11th to February 10th. Traditional Draft November 10th, or 11th to February 10th. February 10th is also the date that we're going to see Kamigawa reach Arena. So, and in Quick Draft November 26th to December 10th. I really wish these were longer. They do like 2 events of the Quick Draft at 2 weeks intervals now. It's very strange in that sense that they keep doing that. Now there is the Arena Open, a draft edition for the Arena Open. Last time they did this, the servers crashed because everyone wants to play limited more than just playing constructed, because constructed is an absolute nightmare of a format right now, with everyone taking so many turns that it's become too much for people to want to sit there and play. The draft version, honestly, it broke the servers last time. The servers went down multiple times when they did draft because everyone flocked back there. So at this time, I would assume they're getting forward for that, getting things. Crimson Vow is being added to the jump in Innastrad version, which is a jumpstart version where you get 2 decks, 20 cards each. The 2 decks get shuffled together and then you play. For 1,000 gold, it is a decent way to get new cards, but because it's random on what you're getting, but it's all solely doing standard. So it might be a decent way to get there, because I think you get... Ultimately, you're going to get a minimum of 2 rares, because there's a rare in every pack. And for 1,000 gold, you can buy a pack, which gives you 1 rare, but also gives you the opportunity to try and get a wild card. That's the trade-off. If you don't get the wild card, you get a second random rare, and there's a third chance that you there's a chance that you could get a third rare from the winning of that. Then they're doing a Crimson Change-Up Phantom Draft finally for Arena. How much is this one? It looks like you just play. This is the midweek magic, so you get to do a Phantom Draft. This is a ideal way of learning draft. If you guys have never played draft before, this is the one to do. This will actually help you make picks. You can watch what other people are playing and do a lot of things. Now, I see Kaladesh in the background there, but this, my understanding is it's Crimson Vow, so it's very interesting that they didn't showcase Crimson Vow artwork in the background and went with Kaladesh. That's kind of weird in that sense. The Gathering, this is another free event for the wedding, November 24th to the 28th. Oh, this is the all-access standard singleton event. Singleton standard event. That's a little bit better than doing standard construction. You have access to all the cards, but you can only put in 1 of each card in there. That's actually a decent event. That will be a fun event. It looks like you can get an avatar and a sleeve out of that. And then, of course, they have your invited November 11th for the Crimson Vow. Is that when this is at? Yeah, so November 11th, they're releasing this set on Remembrance Day, which is very interesting. I don't know if they realize that, but you know, that just happens to be when their maintenance and everything comes forward with that. So the other stuff going on, things that I just don't have up here on screen to talk about is we have this set, the what is this? The set boosters that are coming out. They are updating the list on the set boosters, and certain things like Vampiric Tutor are being added to the list. And the list is a consistency of like 750 cards. You have a 1 in 4 chance of opening up one of these cards in the set boosters, and they are theming it around more Innistrad stuff. So there's a large, I'm talking a large list of cards to go through. 750 cards is just too many for me to go through in a video. That's that would be at any rate for you guys to be able to sit there and watch. We would have to literally break it up color by color, but it's been adjusted for Crimson Vow and Innistrad themed boosters, so you're going to have more Innistrad style cards showing up in there. And like I said, Vampiric Tutor is one of the cards that were added to the list for it. The double feature comes out on January 28th. There's in-store events going to be on January 21st. It looks like they're going to do the previews for double feature on November 29th. So that'll be very interesting to look at, because that's giving us a 2-month window if you want to sit there and save your money to get the double feature, or just to go ahead and get Crimson Vow. I'm going to guess it's an amalgamation of the two sets. We've seen quite a bit of the black and white cards, and it will be fun to open up double feature. I personally, that if I'm going to save up for a booster box, that is the one it's going to be. Up here in Canada, booster box prices have skyrocketed also. I'm looking at 150 to 160 Canadian now for a booster box, which is just out of my price point for Magic the Gathering. I used to look at 120 to $100 for a booster box, and now at 150, 160. I get a couple of those, and I'd rather just save my money and go and get something more for the channel for us to all to enjoy. Now, Kamigawa previews also start January 24th, and the release date for that is the 18th, with events going from 11th to 17th in store, and that also means on Arena. February 10th will be when Kamigawa releases on Arena. So those are the things coming up. That's a little bit of what I had to talk about here this week in Magic, what happened, and I hope you guys will join me tomorrow for the extra live stream. It is going to be a very, very, very long time, and I hope you guys will help me stay awake the entire time. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This is Proud Canadian Phoenix signing off. Have yourselves a great day.